Hello, everybody, and welcome to the introduction to using VWAP. I had a lot of people asking me to explain VWAP, so I wanted to go more in depth with the video. So, to start off, I want to say one thing: the Webull VWAP that I'm using is going to be a little bit different from other brokers, but the overall function is going to be the same. So, don't worry if it's a little bit different by like 2 or 3 cents. So, if you guys are looking at a different number than me, don't worry about that. So, I want to start off with a couple of the trades that we took today that were based off of VWAP. So I'm going to first start off with eyes. So we had eyes, and this one was traded from, I believe, the 6.30s range all the way up to $7. So what VWAP really is, VWAP is just going to be support and resistance, basically, just purely using that. So we'll see if the stock candles are underneath the yellow line, which is the VWAP area. It's going to act as a resistance, right? So we see it keeps hitting that area, but it acts as a resistance. Okay, once it breaks over, we're seeing a major run up. So same way if we go on the other end, if it's above the VWAP, it's going to act as a support. So you're going to always use these during your trades as a support, as a area where you can start setting stop losses, where you expect the stock to bounce off of, or where if you're shorting, where you expect it to break down, right? So if we're looking, we're going to take this as an example. We're just bouncing around this 553 range all the way to VWAP, which is 583. So we could just be scalping this range right here, correct? And once we get a break over VWAP, that is when I look to take an entry, right? Because that's showing enough strength. Same way with resistance, we're just doing the same thing with VWAP, right? So we're just taking an entry right when we see a break over a pretty tough area, right? We see a break, we enter. Same way as resistance would turn into a support for just regular charting. Say a VWAP is supposed to hold as a support after it breaks over that resistance area. Here we see the candles are holding perfectly over the VWAP area. And then we're going, we get a perfect push, an 8% candle right there, just right off the bat. We get a nice run. And then we get a dip back down to VWAP right here. So we see, again, this is going to act as a support because we're trading above the yellow line, right? So once it comes back down to that VWAP range, it bounces off perfectly up to a new high of day. So I'm watching this consistently, and I'm looking, all right, we're coming down to the range that I have my buy set at. Comes down to it, everyone is thinking the same thing at the same exact time. You're going to see a push back up. My stop loss is going to be a little bit below VWAP. I want to give it a little wiggle room just in case of fake out. I'll take my entry right here. You have your set price targets, whether it be the previous resistances, whether it be percentage-wise, 5, 10%. But you're really just looking to take an entry on these VWAP ranges. So again, acts as a support here, acts as a resistance here. You enter on breaks of resistance and you buy near a support. And if we look over here, we have VWAP, right? So it's dipping back down. This time we're seeing that it's sort of, it's coming down from a high of day, right? So it's a little bit weaker right now. We're seeing that sort of wicking down below VWAP. It's having a little bit of a tough time trying to go back up. We still do get that smaller bounce, right? But we're not looking for something like that. So it keeps holding that support range, and then we get that one knife down right here, right? Which sort of invalidates the trade. So once that happens, we're just going to be trading underneath that resistance point that was once a support, right? So now it's just going to be an invalidated trade, right? And now we're just looking, all right, we will take an entry whenever this candle closes above resistance, right? So as far as that goes, it's just a pure simple resistance and support, and you buy only on the breaks, right? And you sell if you have your entry right here and it breaks below it, you sell at a stop loss that's right below it. Let's take a look at another stock that we traded today. So we had AUTL, which was another one that had a pretty nice run today. It was up 35% on the day. So most people will usually try to go for this first pump, right? Most people will try to make a move, catch it right as it's happening. They'll chase on this candle wherever it is, right? That's not the smartest thing to do. You wait until the first run happens, and then you enter on the dip. So we're looking here, and we see, all right, the stock ran up pretty nicely. We're holding the VWAP as support. Comes over, and we see a nice dip down to VWAP right here. Okay, we're holding it consistently. Anything below $6.03, we cut, right? We have an entry near 610, 612, wherever it is, 620. Anything below that $6.03, if you could see up here the VWAP, we're cutting that. So we're seeing it's just bouncing around. comes back after the bounce to a higher low, and we're going, and perfect. We hit a new high of day. We keep consistently holding this support zone, so the VWAP is holding perfectly. I would personally take my profits at 5%, 10% incrementally. I would go up and take it. So you're really just looking for that. If you guys want to go on the more extreme route and you want to set your stop loss right below VWAP and just keep it there, you could also do that. But this is just a very simple strategy to use. So let's go ahead and take a look at another stock that we played today with options this time. So this one isn't a stock, right? So I mean, it's not a shares. It's just a options play. So for Apple, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes or hours, whatever it is, for it to settle down from a market open. We give it the time. It's sort of going, right? We see again that resistance break right there has a nice move up. So this would be at least a 10 to 20% call range. If you're taking calls, if you're taking puts, again, whenever it breaks support, I personally would wait a little longer until we get a confirmation that it's going in either direction. But here what we're seeing is we're forming higher lows again. You have to know that as well, not just use VWAP on its own. But what we're looking at is it's forming higher lows and it's breaking that resistance, right? So we're talking about the support and resistance and what VWAP actually is. Here we go again. Right when it breaks that the VWAP, I usually would take an entry right there. Okay, we're getting a nice run up. This would be a quick 20 to 30% if you're using options. If you're trading shares, it's gonna be like $1 per share, which I don't think anyone really is doing. But we're trading, and as long as it's holding above that VWAP range, right, we're fine. So you could sell anywhere up here, wherever it is, right? You're taking your 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, wherever it is, your percentage wise. We're going, we're holding, and then we come back down to VWAP, and perfect. We get another amazing bounce right off that VWAP. You take calls right here, very limited risk. If it dips below, everyone's thinking the same thing. They're all going to sell at the same exact time. So we get that dip, perfect bounce up to a high of day. So we're all looking at the same exact thing. All traders are looking, or not all, but most traders are going to be looking at VWAP as an entry point or as a selling point, right? So always keep that in mind. Always look for areas to enter, okay? Whether it be a resistance break or a support bounce. So as far as VWAP, that's just a quick little introduction. I will try to go into a part 2 for this. I know it's a little bit confusing to understand in the beginning. So I will try to go more in depth into it and try to explain as much as possible. So just for now, just try to implement it into your trading style. See how it fits. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So just try to figure that out. And I'll be letting everyone know whenever I release a second part to this video. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.